You are live. All right. So, for you guys coming in later, maybe watching the live stream later, I decided, hey, it's the holidays. I know things get tough. Some people don't have family. So, why not, right? Like, let's jump on here and we can talk. That'll give us something to do, especially maybe you're tired of your family and this is a good way to get away from them. You know what I'm saying? Drink to that. So, yeah, let's see. I hope that everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Trying to multitask here. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. I hope you're looking forward. I hope you get all the Black Friday stuff. I hope nobody gets murdered trying to go get that cheap TV even cheaper. You know how it turns out every year. There's always some crazy run of people, which I don't know if that's a thing anymore. You know, like, do people still Black Friday shop? Like, I'm not out in it like that, so I don't know how that works. I didn't know if people still did that. I mean, maybe, but I thought everybody would just Amazon it or Walmart Plus or I don't know, all the pluses and minuses or whatever. Like I thought more people would. I figured more people shop that way nowadays than as opposed to the way it used to be, where everybody tried to kill each other for the four things. Happy Thanksgiving, Tammy. I hope you're doing well. I hope everybody's doing well. It's uh, it's been a pretty good Turkey Day for me, so I hope everybody's had a great Turkey Day. Yeah. But I don't want to get sidetracked. The Black Friday stuff, um it's always blown me away how everybody tries to kill each other for that stuff. Happy Thanksgiving, John. Happy Thanksgiving, T. Look, T. Griff. I suck with names. I don't know if y'all have noticed that, but that's I have a lot of faults, but uh, you know, speaking is yeah, and I do YouTube and I can't talk. So Nancy, how you doing? I hope everybody's doing well. Shannon, happy. I want to. God, I was fixing to say happy birthday, happy Thanksgiving. I'm losing it. My wife. I bet she's watching this thinking I'm going crazy, but I'm not. I promise. Yeah, I think it's working. How about that? There we go. Yeah. So let's see what's coming up. Um, I think in the next week or two, I'll be putting out the rest of the Disney stuff. You know, if that's not what you're into, I get it. But you gotta, write things off. So it's gotta go on the business. Um, so yeah, we'll have a couple more videos of that. One, two, maybe, probably one, maybe two. I don't know yet. And then we'll have some top fives coming out. I think I've got two of those in the works that I want to do. Um, and then maybe throughout Christmas, 1st of January, I think we may just we'll have some stuff, but I don't, it's not going to be any normal type of video. It's the end of the year type stuff. And then maybe end of January, I'll be back filming, or middle to end of January, I'll be back filming for um, February for Black History Month. And yeah, and then with a year keep, and then we get back going. I'm looking to do some more like festivals and random street things. I think next year that's a more of a path for the channel too. Besides just cemeteries, I want to go do random street things. I don't know how to explain that, but more festivals, like happy Thanksgiving, Doris. I don't know, just something different. Just so I don't get burnout and um I don't want to have that creator burnout where I just don't want to travel and I don't want to do, which sounds crazy, but I can understand how it happens. Like you would sit there and think, oh well, you just film and get to do, but it is, I don't know, you just get tired of doing that same thing over and over and over. So I want to, I don't know, keep it fresh. We'll still do the thing, but more things coming. My problem is I have to remember the um like I have to remember on a calendar, like, hey, maybe I should write down there's this wine festival in Indiana. And I also always forget. Trish, I hope you're doing good. I hope everybody's got over their sickness. I know the last time I did one of these, I had the flu, and I hope everybody's got through all that. I hope we're on the other side of that this year, that we've all made it through whatever is going to happen. So let me hear from y'all. What do y'all want to talk about? What do we want to? We want to talk about Thanksgiving, Christmas, world economics. What do y'all want to talk about? I thought I'd just hop on here for just, I don't know, 15, 20 more minutes and just see how y'all were. I know some people are busy for Thanksgiving. Some people don't have a lot going on. So, like, hey, why not, right? Let's just chat it up. See how everybody is. Hello from Kentucky. Terry, how's it going? So yeah, I don't want to get too stale. I feel like I sit here and I'm just trying to read and I get quiet. But um I've got there's one grave I think I'm gonna go do next week. It's here in Alabama. I think there's one or two more in Alabama. I got one or two in Florida. I got to do one or two in Tennessee. I was just looking today. I've been really eyeballing Naomi Judd's grave, right? So I've been really doing some research. And right after she first passed away, it said she was going to be buried in the same cemetery like where String Bean is, right? And I was like, oh, well, that's cool. I already know where that's at. I'll wait a little bit for the family just out of respect. That's what I try to do. Give them a little bit, before I don't want to be one of those like, I saw somebody, they were doing, who was it? Jerry Lee Lewis. Like somebody's already done his grave. And it's like they were still shoveling dirt on that dude's grave. I mean, like as a joke, but it's like it was still mounded up. And it's like, just let the dirt settle before you go out there and you try to do what you do. I don't know. I feel like some of us get like we get a bad name. I hear well, maybe it just gets suggested to me, but I hear people not talk so happy about that. Um, but yeah, but Naomi sidetrack, right? So I see I'm checking it to today or yesterday, and I see that it shows she's been cremated. So I'm curious to see if that is not the case. Like I'm gonna go right around the cemetery and see what I can't find. I'm gonna keep doing some looking. But I don't know if she was cremated. You never know, right? They could have just said that just so the family, it's more of it said the ashes are scattered in the backyard by, and by backyard of her Leapers Fort residence. So she was, says her ashes were scattered. So I guess she can go on the top 5. You can't visit list now, if that's the truth. A video, Charlie Pratt. Ooh, that is a good one. So where is Let's look that up and let's see where that's at. Oh, Dallas County. I've been wanting to get out west again. I say out west, that's more like central, but to me, it's west. And yeah, what's so crazy? When I was in Dallas, I went out there and I don't know, it's like I whiffed on that one. I don't know how I missed that, but I did. It's weird. Sometimes you don't. Like, I could see the family with Naomi not wanting to tell it's they can do what they want to, right? We're just kind of at the whim of the family's wishes, and I don't really want to like with the dirt still being piled on the grave. Like I couldn't imagine. There's one like Jeff Cook that was in the band Alabama. Like I'm probably 45 minutes from where he's buried. I could have already went there. I could have went to the funeral, but I don't know. I'm not doing that. It's just not. Even if it's like if I'm not the first and I don't get all the clicks, it's okay. Like out of my respect, I'm going to give him a minute just to let the dirt settle. Like, yeah, it would be cool. Like if I was just worried about views and stuff, I would have been at Jerry Lee Lewis's thing and Jeff's thing. Like those are two large names that I'm relatively close to that I could have done. But if I'm not the first, it's okay. And Jim Varney, you're right, Terry, in Lexington. I was going to try to do that. When I went up and did James Best and Kenny Price. I was going to try to get to Lexington and time and stuff, but I do want to go there. I got to go visit that grave. I got to go pay respects to that because he was part of my childhood too. Like Slinky Dog, Ernest. Like you can't go wrong with that, right? I mean, freaking Jim Varney was the best. Like I remember, I try to make my kids watch the Ernest Saves Christmas. There's this one scene where he shows up and he's in that truck and he's got the stick and he's poking with the rattlers and he's the pies, and I'll never, man, it's amazing. Yeah, it is amazing. Charlie Pride. There's a couple in Houston. There's a lot in Texas. It just like behind me, like to go. It's about a day and a half. Bear Bryant, I have, but I'm going to redo it, and I'm going to kind of do it. I'm going to run it around the whole funeral and like the day and like the day before and all that stuff, just to kind of, I don't know, stretch it. Like I'm able to. I really know. Personally, I know where all that is. Like being from here, it's not hard for me to talk about that one. A lot of the other stuff, it's I have to educate like really quick and then put it down, and then it's like you almost forget it in a way. But the Barry Bryant stuff, it's almost like the Bible. Like there's like Jesus, and then Bear's like kind of there. I mean, he's not up there, but from around here, he could get in the house if he needed to. He knows where the key's at. You know what I'm saying? Like he could, you know. But yeah, I'm gonna redo it. I have done it. It's in an old video from a year and a half ago, but I did it. It was him, Davey Allison, and George Lindsay. Mark and I, the guy from Backroads Golf, you'll see him every once in a while. Me and him we went and did those three graves, and it was it wasn't the first, but it was in the top 5. So yeah, Coldwater, Michigan. Is it cold up there, James? Like today hasn't actually been that bad here in Alabama. It's warm. Like it's great. Well, I try to show the family respect as much. I mean, eventually I gotta go I'm gonna go do it. So it's like I don't know how long is too long, right? But to me, I at least give it a little bit. Like rain, got you. I guess it could be snow. Sorry, ice. But I thought it was going to be 53 in rain because of the S, but 43. Yeah, that changes the game. That 10 degrees, that cool rain sucks. Like it could be freezing rain, which would be even worse, but a cold rain, I don't know, just something about that says you're going to have a sinus infection or something. I don't know. You can feel it. You're almost like, ugh. Kurt Cobain would be awesome. I feel like he was cremated around Birmingham, Brian. That's where I'm at. Let's see. It says there's like a memorial, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he was cremated. Yeah. I'm sure Courtney Love did something great with those. The Queen Elizabeth grave. It would be awesome. There's a guy overseas that I follow on this channel now. But he does he does this. It's just English. It's like the English version of this. With like this find a grave YouTube channel, I guess you could say. And he's really good. And he's got 40,000 views. I don't remember his name, but he does a lot of English stuff. That's how I found him. It just suggested it to me. What is his name? Oh shoot. Unusual things. Yeah. I think he's from over the pond. I don't know what he's like, but oh, that would be a good one of the guy that yeah, hold on, I'm gonna well, I'm gonna make a note of that. But yeah, the gangster, that's a good suggestion. That is a good one. Oh, I bet there are people that do it. I mean, I'm sure. Like, um, do I feel like when they are cremated, it cheats me out of a good video? Well, it's one of those you got to figure out how to turn lemons into lemonade situations where um, you got to make a top five list. Like top five graves you can't visit. So it's like if I can't go there, I'm going to find a way to make money off of you. Like I think that's a sign of a showman, right? Like if I ain't going to make it doing it this way, then we got to make it doing it that way. Like you always got to find a way to try to make the dollar, the hustle, right? He didn't want to be buried and have people come look at it. So I get it. See, like it's like there's many ways to spin it as far as you don't want, visitors. Merle would be fun. Merle Haggard would be a good one. But I feel like there's plenty. Like, yeah, if you just do a channel um that is only looking at the grapes, right? Then eventually I feel like you run out of the content. So yeah, there's a lot to do. You just have to figure out like if the celebrity wise, right? Or whatever you consider celebrity. Um I I don't know. Like you just have to like I think these type of channels. I don't know if maybe it's a boom and bust industry where like you figure out your niche and you could wring the market out of just celebrity graves but there's a whole 50 states and there's a whole world of it. It's just trying to get to them because if you start with nothing from scratch, no money, no nothing, then it takes a while and it sucks because there's so many that I don't want to say it's competition, but when you see somebody else in this field do a video on the thing you were going to do, you're like, oh, it just kind of like I'm still going to do it even if I see it. I just know that I'm having to spread like some of that views out. I think that's the only thing now is I feel like there's so many like compared to what there was. Like even me, like I'm still new in the scene too, but there's just so many like I feel like it stretches it thin a little bit. The well, thank you for saying I was respectful to Steve McNair because it was an honor just to go down there and visit that guy. I remember watching him grow, as a kid, and like I didn't know the whole story. Normally I don't as I go into these, and then I see that he cheated and the girl blew his brains out. It's like wow, like I didn't know it got that deep. So at the end of it, I just kind of I don't want to say I glossed over it. I just didn't bring it up. Like if you couldn't put two and two together, then um the the way I like he left and girl not wife, but the way I put it, I tried to frame it in a way to make it you know explain that because I've had some comments like, "Yeah, you didn't bring up he was cheating." It's like, well, I did say he was with this other woman or whatever. So, you know, you can't make everybody happy. I even get comments that people say I talk too much, and it's like, but how do you? Isn't that what we do? That's like I don't respond to them because it's just dumb anyway. But how do you? Why would you? I don't know. It got me thinking. So I guess job well done, troll. Thank you. That one. No, normally any kind of weird comment, I'm like, yeah, whatever. But yeah, what in the world? Hold on. There's I don't know if y'all can hear. Hold on. Hold on. I legit don't know what that was. That was the funniest thing. Sorry, that I don't know what that was. Could have been a squirrel. It's one of those things. I'm not bugging out. I promise. Okay, let's see. Like Lamont, I feel like Lamont may have been one of those first ones to really like. He's like the OG, I would consider, of the whole game, and he's kind of he's got the two, but he has the one that does kind of like what we do, and then the Lamont at large is kind of its own animal. It's like a different thing. Like I haven't watched him in a long time. I try not to watch him because like I don't want to know if I'm working on a video of somebody and then Lamont. If I see Lamont do it, I'm like, well, I ain't even gonna do it because I know like Lamont's done it. There's no, I'm not coming in second place to him. Like I feel like with some of the others, I may have a chance, but not with Lamont. He's too good. Like he's got the views. Like once he catches it, then it's caught, right? Scott on tape's great. He seems like a good dude. Like he seems like a normal guy. Um, it's weird in this field. You think, I don't know, maybe I should reach out to people, but it's like you don't really. There's not like cross pollination. Um, I don't know. It's weird. Everybody's in the grind, doing their own thing. Thank you, Terry. I'm glad you enjoyed the videos. I do. I just, that's me. What you see is what you get. I'm just out there. We're just doing our thing, right? What was the coolest grave or like grave personality that you've been to? Someone that I was a fan of. I mean, honestly, all of them. I mean, not obviously like the murders and the whatevers, but as far as celebrity graves, if I've been to it, I'm a fan of them. Like I went out of my way to go see them. Little Richard was pretty cool. Like I wasn't a huge fan, but just as an icon, like there was like Martin Luther King, like as far as like monumental type stuff, right? Um like Martin Luther King Sr. and his wife next to Hank Aaron, like in Atlanta's pretty doggone cool. Just because like if it wasn't for that guy, there would be no Martin Luther King Jr. And his wife like was shot in the church. Like that whole thing is crazy. And then Hank Aaron right there next to him because it's Hank Aaron, right? I love baseball, and I mean that's the home run king. And then you got there's a couple other monumental graves there. Just that cemetery is just a huge monumental cemetery. And then like I guess if you go to Dallas, Dimebag Daryl, like I grew up listening to like Pantera and stuff. So that was neat. I got to go to um oh god, hold on. Let me I'm gonna forget his name. Yeah. Then I went to Peter Mayhew's grave. That was to me, that was a huge one because he's Chewbacca. So you can't how can you not be excited about that? Um gosh, like Kenny Rogers was awesome. Um I haven't put it out yet, but I went to Payne Stewart's grave. That'll probably come out sometime in the middle of December. He was the golfer. Like I love golf, and that was the guy that like most people are like Tiger Woods in my age group saw Tiger, but I saw Payne, and Payne was the guy that got me into um um he his shorts and his hat and all that stuff. Like he's the one that did it. So yeah, all of those. God, there's so many. Like I was excited. Like there's a lot that I haven't even made it to, but the ones that I have made it to, I feel like I've done some pretty cool ones. Like I feel like Donna Summer, I feel like I broke that one. Like I don't know if anybody had done that. If they had it hadn't took off like the one I did. No, nobody has contacted. Well, that's because I tried to. I've had one. I've had one interaction. let me not lie. When I did Troy Gentry, somebody sent me an email from the maybe it was the fan club of the band, or maybe it was his. Anyway, whoever they were was like, how did you find his grave? How do you know where it was? And why did you make the video? And it was like, I found the grave because it's on Find a Grave. Like, I'm not out here actively trying to hunt down Troy Gentry's grave. Like, I'm sorry, not that big a fan. Seemed like a cool dude. Just, I'm not out here trying to find that. I'm not, Dick Tracy on this thing. So, what the world is going on with my kids? Sorry, kids are at home. It's nuts. But yeah, I haven't had. That's the only weird thing. Most of the people that I haven't done any kind of murders like that, because in my opinion, Lamont does that. That's Lamont. I mean, he's up there, right? Like, he's good with that stuff. I don't. Plus, I don't know. Like, I don't really have an interest in. I don't want to get into something I'm not interested in. So to me, it's a waste of time. Payne Stewart was great. Don Williams, I don't know if his grave is public. That's one of those things I'd have to look up. But yeah, I haven't had. I feel like I've had more people look at me strange than just being at the cemetery. You're walking around with a camera, like a GoPro with this fluffy mic on it, and people are like, "What are you?" I've had a couple of like people that work at the graveyards like, "What are you? What?" They didn't say anything, but they stopped and looked. So that's about it, though. Other than that, everybody's been cool. I haven't run into no issues. The only thing I did that I thought might be, like, kind of, this one's kind of 50-50. Um, it was the lady that ran away with the convict. She's buried in North Alabama, and I didn't show where she was. I didn't say where she was. Just I kind of showed the grave and was like, I'm not here to judge. This is where it's at. It was in some like a travel vlog kind of video. And that was about it. Okay, so before I get to this one, I want to talk about that one. So Loretta's already buried. She's on her farm. So I don't know. That may put her out of visit. As far as, I don't know if we can. It might take some emails. I've got to. I don't even know how this is going to go, but I got to email the Florida Department of Corrections. There's something I need to do, and it's no trespassing, because I went by there to do it and then found out, oh, this is no trespassing. I do not want to go to jail. So I turned my happy butt around and got out. I noticed the sun was like, oh my God, and like, got out of there. And Tammy Wynette, she's in the same graveyard, or in the same, like, she's in the mausoleum. Like, she's in the George Jones, Little Jimmy Dickens, and somebody else. Maybe she's on the cover of that. I don't remember. Maybe it's like Who's Buried Next to George Jones or something like that. But that's the video she's in. Somebody I didn't get. There's quite a few in that cemetery that I haven't done yet. Let's see. This is the one. Has your kids seen the videos? What do they think about their dad being on YouTube? Do they think it's pretty cool? They think it's pretty cool. They were already trying to sell merch at school. They think the word merch is cool. So my 7-year-old's trying to hawk merch for me. He's trying to tell his buddies, like, hey, my dad's a YouTuber. You should buy his merch. So I think that's pretty cool. They think it's neat in general. They don't really understand the concept. Kind of neither do I, really. It seems like I'm learning every day how this stuff works. And they've been in a few videos, and I always ask them if I make sure they're okay with it before, we do the thing. Like, hey, you guys, I'm filming. All right, just letting you know. And so that, if they want to be on camera, hey, I don't want to be one of those channels. I feel bad for those kids. Like, I just think they don't, some of the, God, like that Ryan kid, like, I'm sure the parents maybe I'm just over judging here, but man, it's just, I don't know. I get scared for those kids. Jerry Clower, JD Sumner, sorry, JD Sumner's on the list. I actually, was looking before I lie. Let me make sure that it is. Yeah, like I already have a write up on him. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I haven't done it yet, but I have it like the thing ready to go. All I got to do is just go shoot it. And with it being in Nashville, I can go do that. Oh, Larry Flint. Yes. Okay. So I've kind of on and off been looking to try to figure out who to send emails to because it shows you when you look up where it's at. It's at the Flint Family Cemetery. I think I found it on Google Maps. I'm really sure I know where it's at. And it's at a family home. Like you can see where there's like a house and then there's a road that kind of goes around the house. And then it looks like there's the hillside where the Flints are buried. And I got to make sure I got to talk to somebody. I don't want to just drive up there and just like go in a gas station and try to look for like, hey, you know where I can find that grave? You know, like some redneck from Alabama. I really don't want to do that. So I got to make sure I'm not going to get shot with a shotgun or something before I get up there. But yes, I haven't forgot. I promise. I just got to kind of quit dragging my feet and do that. No, uh, that's pretty good. You know, I wish he would have done that. You know, Garth. Okay, this is a. I don't know if you watch Your Mom's House, but yeah, there's a whole Garth Brooks thing there. Hey, look, Bobby. Look. I feel like we've got the same kind of taste. So yeah, um, I haven't forgot about Larry though. I just got to quit dragging my feet, man. Like you know how it gets. I'll do that. And then there's always like the next time, but you never. I suck. You never do it. Always put it off. Hello, kids. Anyway, um, I keep it real loose on the live streams. Like you never know. I don't know. They could come down here. I don't know what's going to happen. One of them was wearing a dinosaur costume from Halloween. Yeah, so they've been having a good Thanksgiving, I think. Like the family gravesite, I almost wonder if you could drive, like where I think it's at. If that's it, the road that goes around the house, I feel like that takes you to where you would park to get up to the family gravesite. The only problem is I don't know if they consider that their driveway. You know, I don't want to get in some loophole where I'm still on their property and I don't know I'm on property. So I've thought about emailing like the newspaper. I don't even know if there's a newspaper in that area, but that's about where I've got to with trying to figure out how to do that one. Because I feel like, you know, it's the good ones, that's a diamond in the rough. Like the one that I want to, the Florida corrections, um, you know, the Florida corrections one I think would be cool too. You just got to get permission, and I probably ain't going to get it. But all they can do is say no. They can't eat you no more, right? Um, I wish I could visit Loretta's ranch. I know you can go there. Like you can look like they used to before she passed away. Like you could stay the night and visit her house and like kind of like the way Jerry Lee Lewis would just do tours of his house. Well, Loretta would do that too. And you could stay in these cabins and camp and the cemeteries on that property. So like I may send them an email and be like, hey, maybe I can stay in a cabin, you know, like we could work something out. But it's always worth a shot, right? Well, thank you. Um, yeah, I honestly I try to just it's people say it's weird to hear good content because to me it's like as I watch it, you know, I guess as you do anything, you seem like you kind of can tell what you're getting better at, and I hope that it keeps increasing. And I'm trying to do different things that I think of. Things may work, they may not work. Put those in videos. The I try to keep I don't want to try to just do one town over and over. Like I want to try to go from, like I always say, the 3 hour thing right now, especially with the kids and stuff. The um like one town. I don't want to stay in Nashville or Atlanta or somewhere in Mississippi or somewhere in South or North Florida. Like I want to try to at least keep it somewhere different every time you watch. And then the you start after a year and a half. Like I feel like in the area I'm at, like in this 3 hour loop right there, right? That you start um um kind of running out of ideas, and you're like, oh no, well I got to get out of this 3 hours. No, I got to do like a 6 hour circle, and it's kind of that's where I'm at. So I'm just, I feel like I'm getting to that point. Plus, I want to just change. Like I don't want to get stale. Like I said earlier, I want to try to, I don't know, do some other stuff. Like I don't know, something different, something I don't really see. I don't really see a lot of. Thank you, Carol. I appreciate it, and I'm glad. Thanks, Tommy, that they're still running it the same. And I may. I'm gonna Monday. I'm gonna make a note. Monday. I'm gonna send them an email and see what we can't do, because I think that would be cool. Because it's not that far from where I live. It's just in South Tennessee somewhere. I think it'd be nice. Right. Oh, that'd be good. That's a good suggestion. So Alan would you want Alan Oppenheimer? Who was the original voice? Maybe it's him. Original Mighty Mouse voice. So yeah, it'd be one of those two. Yeah, that'd be great. That's a good one. So when you said Sergeant York, are you talking about Alvin? Oh, that's a nice one. If that's who, yeah. Well, thanks everybody for doing a great job. I do appreciate it. Um, it really, I say in every video, it really does mean the world. Like it's one of those situations where it's just me out there filming. I upload it, you guys like it, and it's weird. There's no like, I don't have to like put on I don't have to fake it. Like it just, it is what it is. I'd like to go do Daniel, but there's so much in Kentucky. Like I hadn't even got up, I hadn't done hardly anything in Kentucky. The Everleys, working on that one. I mean, Edgar Casey, like, how cool, right? The Prophet dude is up there. Like, I really think that would be cool. Um, some others like Jim Varney, all that stuff, right? Like, I really like it. There's a lot going on up there. The Carolinas, like I barely even one grave. I think I can say that I've done. Is it Billy Graham was it? Like I haven't even like behind me, like over in there. I ain't done none of that or hardly any of that. It's weird. You don't. It doesn't seem like it's that big until you got to travel, and then it's a really long way to get to some of these places, and not long by days worth of driving, but to try to do it in a day, that's pretty tough. Like it's hard to do it in a day. So then you got to get into money, right? Like yeah, you can spend for the car that I drive, we could probably do a day trip on $60, but then you got to get overnight, and then that's where it comes in. So I don't do as many of those. Yeah, you're right about the Brady and the Kardashian. Those would be interesting. There's another one too in Kentucky, not Kentucky, Arkansas. My wife suggested, and it was the oh, what's the crazy family out there with a molester? Oh, the Duggars. Yeah, how can I forget that? Yeah, Like, go do that family's, like Ma and Pa Duggar, all them. Those Arkansas weirdos. Hold on. Let's see. Honestly, there was one that I've tried to, you were talking about being moved. Um, I've done one on something else. It has nothing to do with it's not a celebrity. It was a lady and she was a terrible person and she did a lot of bad things. And so I had this idea of, well, me and my father-in-law, we got in the car and we drove up to Memphis and did a few things up there, and I couldn't do it. It was weird. Like, I wasn't in the mental position to do the video. It was so bad. Like, everything that I read was bad. And it was like, I was so bummed. Like, it disturbed me that bad. And I'd already read it like twice over just to be able to write a thing to say about it. And I couldn't even get that out. So I hope that like my enthusiasm comes off on camera is more than, because I know what bad looked like, because I've trashed it. I'm just going to have to redo the whole thing. I just can't. It didn't even turn out. I couldn't. It was that bad. And it was just because of the situation, like just what I was doing. And that's why I don't really do a lot of the murder stuff, because dang, man, it sucks. And it just like sticks with me, especially if it's a child, since I have kids, and man, it just holds on to you, and it's hard to let that go. That's why I don't really, I try to like, I want you to forget and be happy. Like, when you watch my video, I want you to be excited and forget that you have a mortgage payment for a minute, if that makes sense. Like, I want you to forget the trash runs tomorrow. I want you to forget that you left the light on and now the power bill's going to go. Like, I want that type stuff, right? Popcorn Sutton. Sorry, I was trying to get all deep, and then I like squirrel, and I don't want to say Tammy. She's probably the worst woman ever to come out of Memphis, like with the adoptions. Okay, and Popcorn Sutton, and then I get the squirrel thing. Popcorn Sutton would be awesome. Like, I kind of think I know where it's at. I've done looked at that. And I'd like to go visit. Okay, so I was talking about this Jerry Lee Lewis earlier. There's already a video out there. I was talking about my nature of like how long I try to wait, like just to give the family some time to breathe. Before you, like, jerks like me are out there trying to make money off a dead loved one. That there's already, like, the dirt ain't even finished falling off the top of the grave yet, and there's already a video. Um, yeah, it was. It's out there if you want to look. I promise it's there. But eventually, yes, I'm gonna get to it in a month or so. Like, I'm gonna give it a minute. Like, even if, like I was saying earlier, if I don't get the clicks, like, even if it costs me however many views, to me, I can't. I at least gotta, like Jeff Cook from Alabama. I'm gonna say it again. Like, he's buried 45 minutes away, but I ain't gonna do it. I'm gonna wait just a minute before I go up there. I mean, I ain't gonna give them long. Don't get me wrong, but I'm gonna give it a minute. Like, I just can't. I remember, like, to me, what disturbed me the most was the last big celebrity funeral thing that I watched was when Bob Saget died, and the amount of whoring is the word. I try not to use words of color like that. Just, so anybody can watch it, right? The amount of whoring that went into people going before the dude was in the dirt. They're like, this is where he's going to get buried. And then they were at the funeral. It was nasty. Like, I couldn't have been more upset, thinking, God, the things you do for money. Like, yeah, money's really important, but I couldn't imagine that. But that, yeah. So, like, I saw that video too. Like, I've seen it. Like, they couldn't even wait till they got the gravestone. They had to make 2 videos. Like, this is where he's at, and now he's got the gravestone. Like, I can't imagine doing that either. Nothing against the creator. I'm not knocking him. This is my personal preference. Like, I did Bobby Bowden. It's like, I'm pretty sure he's got a headstone now, but I already done it. I don't want to make. I feel like I'm double dipping. Like, when we go visit somebody, it's like, that's it, guys. Like, we're done. We did it. We made it here. We visited. Let's go to another one. And I don't look at it as like a channel. Like, we visited. We don't want to go back. We've already been there. And like, we got so many to see. We ain't got time to go back to see it again. Like, that's the way I kind of look at it. I don't know, maybe that's wrong, but that's my way of doing it. Luther Perkins. I'm pretty sure he is. Hold on. Let me. He is. Yes, he is. I've seen it. I've actually seen that grave. Like, he is right next to it. So yeah, you're right. It's right there. In that same cemetery, you can ask, and I think they have maps, or you can get a PDF on your phone to see where all that's at. I don't know if it's the same one that did I just saw the thumbnail, and I don't know who did it. I just was like, man, come on, let the dude rest. Which, that's just my style. I mean, hey, if you do you, right? Like, I ain't knocking you. I'm just saying that's what it just seems weird. Like I said with Jeff Cook, like, I could have went to that dude's funeral if I wanted to. Like, it's North Alabama, everybody's welcome. Just come on in. And you know, I just, like Rebecca said, that I try to honor. And it's like, I try not to, like, if it's bad, I mean, sometimes you can't knock it, right? Patsy Cline would be good, but they're Tom Landry. I was going to do that when I went to Dallas, and I just didn't have time. There's only so much time I get now that I do this. It's like, I need 2 days, 3 days worth of time in a day to be able to do some things. But the Patsy Cline, I got a thing working on that too. You're right. It's a good one. I'm not going to say it's a good one, but I don't know. Like, I want something different. Like, there's plenty of, hey, let's go to the grave. I'm going to do something different with that. I think it needs, she deserves something different. She was special, right? Hank Williams is the same. I want to do something different with him. I hadn't done him yet. I mean, he's in Montgomery, so that's another one of those close graves, but I want to make sure I got everything. I'm almost done with that. How I want to do it. I gotta figure out how to get up to. There's a couple of places I got to get to, but yeah, Hank will be coming this year. Some more Leonard Skinner stuff. Fog Hat. I've got some Fog Hat stuff lined up. I think that's fun. Yeah, just that's John Denver would be. You could probably go where the plane crashed. You can make a video. That's something, like, I talk about doing something different. That is a good idea, but maybe somebody that does it out west could do it. I mean, it's tough to get to, what was it, Colorado, somewhere in there, right? But yeah, that would be a good video. Hiking to John Denver's plane crash site. There you go. That's a video right there in itself. I mean, I look like a guy that hikes. I know, but Hank Williams' grave is pretty. Like, Junior did a good job with it. It looks good. Like, they did it in a way where they knew Dusty Rhodes. You're right. Hold on. Let me. Dusty. Excuse me. The American Dream. Oh, it says his ashes were scattered at his Texas ranch. Man, oh man. Ain't that something? I really hate that. But it says the plot is a mausoleum. So, see, this is where you get into that tricky territory, like I was talking about with Naomi Judd earlier. At first it says they're buried, and then it says they're cremated. So it's like which one is which sometimes. But man, that's a bummer. I gotta tell you that. Dusty. I crack myself up sometimes thinking about him. I actually watched the thing on TikTok, him today. No joke. They were doing some kind of old promo from back in the day. And they cheered for Dusty. I love Dusty too. Like I'm kind of I caught the end of Dusty, but um people just cheered for him. It's crazy. Man, those that Vice has been doing that stuff with all of that. And it's amazing how nuts that industry really is. Like it's crazy because it's full of steroids and everything else. But California is where it went down. All right. Well, yeah. See, that's even further away. Like that's a long ways away. Um, After driving back from Orlando, I think that's the longest. I don't know how my kids did it. We drove 13 hours in one day. They did it. I don't. Thank God for iPads and Nintendos, because my goodness, that's the only thing that got us through. And the last 2 hours from like Montgomery to north of Birmingham was trouble. Like I don't know how we made it. The kids were falling apart. I was losing my patience, but we did it. 13 hours. Whew, man. Um, Sidetracked. I'm sorry. Hey, Lubbock sounds like. See, I'm losing my place. Lubbock seems like a really cool place. Like, then when I come through Lubbock, I'll give you a shout. I promise. Buddy Holly would be awesome. But see, I always talk about there's some of these graves that I feel like um, Georgia is within the 3 hours technically. I can get to Atlanta because just if it's outside it, like if we're saying the 3 hour thing, right? Macon doesn't really make it. So like when I did Greg Allman, that was an overnighter. Like just hands down, I know it. But if I can go like North Georgia down to Atlanta, that's about I can squeeze 3 hours out of that on a good day. Like some days it might take 4, but I can get away with that's a little leeway. Aniana and Gadsden. Yeah, see that I'm not that far east, but around Birmingham. Um, and then you got Nashville. Nashville's kind of at the tip of the 3 hours, kind of anywhere. I thought Scott Hall was buried in Macho Man was cremated. Got bad news, man. It was yeah. You can go I've seen where people go to the tree, supposedly where his ashes were scattered, where the tree he hit. One of the I haven't watched enough on that. Shows lack of respect for the Macho Man. I know, but I know I got a lot going on up in the noggin, so I can't remember, um, where at. But I saw where I think Jordan the Lion did Scott Hall's grave. It was right after. It wasn't. I mean, it was plenty of time, in my opinion, right? And Kevin Nash was on a radio station talking crap about Jordan. He didn't say his name in particular, but Jordan's the one that did it. Um, yeah, he talked some crap about it. I don't know why. I guess I don't know. It's weird. It's one of those situations. Next time I come to Kentucky, Lexington or so, yeah, I'll make a post the next time I travel. That way I don't forget. Hold on. How about here? How about we do that? There. All right. How about there? I took a picture of the laptop. That's how lazy I am right now. I'm just kind of. It's the night of Thanksgiving. I'm getting lazy. The ashes are on his ranch. Okay, thank you. That makes more sense. Um, but yeah, I don't know why Kevin Nash felt that way about what Jordan did because I thought it was just fine. It seemed like a normal video like any of us would make, but Kevin had a issue with it. Yeah, Ralph Earnhardt, he's hopefully this year coming up. Like I really want to do. Yeah, Scott. Yeah, that's kind of why I hadn't like once I see somebody like Scott or like any of them, right? Once if I see it suggested that they've done it, then if I'm working on it, I scrap it. I normally don't do that. Oh, Mac is okay. Cool. I didn't know he was buried in Marietta. Wow. I for some reason thought that was somewhere else. I don't know why I thought he was buried somewhere else. Well, then you know what? I may go over there and just get hated by Kevin Nash. Well, it says he's buried in Maryland. See, that's what I thought. He's buried at St. Trinity's Church in Maryland under a stone with no name on it. Because there's a picture by a guy named Ryan that shows the stone. And see, that's why you can't just be mad at Jordan because, um, like it's there for the public, right? So Mac Davis, he's in Lubbock. That same cemetery, huh? That's what you said. You're right. I thought there was somebody else in that cemetery too. Maybe it was the Bobby Lane because he's in the Hall of Fame. So maybe that's where I heard, or maybe he was the guy. Anyway, yeah, I would like to get out there. Yeah, from what I saw when I just looked up Mac Davis, it looked like there's a brand new headpiece out there. It looked really good. But yeah, I think the goal for next year, like as a channel, like I hadn't really solidified or concreted any um, goals for the channel for the year, but I think growing, just expanding the channel as far as where we go, and hoping like I'm going to sit down and I've got a bunch of ideas that I want to do, and I got to go through them and figure out which ones I want to do and which ones I think need to be maybe thought out more. Burt Reynolds, I feel like that's one of those like, yeah, I could do it, but it's already been done, right? Like if I go out west, you guarantee if I have the time, I'll do it. Like that's one of those like I can say all I want that everybody's done it, but I want to go see it. And if I'm going to go see it, then I'm bringing y'all with me. So it's like, yeah, whatever. Well, I'm glad you like the video of the family. It's hard to get them in videos. They don't really, they like the kids love the idea of it. But when you say, hey, let's go make a video and we need to do this, like if you want to be a part of it, we got to go do something. And they're like, no. So they don't, eh, they're okay. Like at Disney, it was different. They were okay with Disney because of just the experience of filming there. But sometimes like my oldest will tell me like I don't want you to film, so I don't film. He wants it just us. That's what we get, because I don't want to go in. I don't want to. I don't know. I don't want to pester them. The last thing they care, but they don't. They think it's cool, but they really don't care. Like now, it's been going on long enough where they don't. No different than if I worked at a Fortune 500 or something like that, right? Um, Seeing presidents' graves. But I do want to start next year. That's one of those things. I want to see if it makes the cut, right? If they want to be in more and we could do more, then yeah, I think it would be fun, like how we did the sunflower thing this year, something like that, but with kids and I don't know, bring in more family stuff because I try to keep it family, right? President's graves, that's one of those like cards. It's like I have this obsession now that I started with the hee haw. And it's like when I start a thing, I gotta finish it. And I've got like three or four that I can physically get to. There's some in California that I can't. I can't help that, right? But it's like the last thing I want to start is like presidential graves, because then it's like, well, I can get to some in Tennessee, and then there's like Ohio and then Indiana and then Illinois, and it's like oh, and then it goes from there. And I start this upset, and I can't. It's going to be on the list, but I just get once I start, there's no coming back from it. That's all I'm thinking of. So there was these two girls. Well, I hate that happened in Indiana, but like I said, I try not to. If I need to, I will, but I try not to do that. Oh, we've talked about the Marshall stuff. I've looked at that too. Like that's one of those that I may have to like compile and work on this year, like early to film later in the year. But nobody's done the whole thing, right? So we don't know where any of those kids or coaches or anybody is, right? It's buried, so it'd be nice if you could summarize all that in one video. St. Jude, yeah, I've like going up to Memphis and filming. I bet I drove by where that's at numbers of times, right? And I just hadn't went down there. I just gotta go do it. It's one of those like I don't know why I hadn't done it yet. I try to sometimes leave that stuff, to be honest. Like if I'm running short on a video where I'm like, crap, I gotta have a video for Monday. It's like, oh, I can run up to Memphis and do that real quick, right? So sometimes I try to leave the short ones. Like if they're close to where I'm at, sometimes I try to skip over them just in case I need them in the future. Trying to like cover my CYA, right? I don't want to get caught without having a video to put out. To me, that's just if you don't announce it. Like if I don't say, "Hey, there's no video for however long" or something, then like somebody better be sick or something because we gotta. It's like a job, right? Like you want a video on Mondays, well, by God, you get a video on Mondays. I hadn't even put Monday's video together yet, but fingers crossed that it happens. I hadn't missed one in a while, so here's to that. I think I had a Thursday video once just because I forgot. I was like, oh my God, it's Thursday. I didn't put a video out. But other than that, that's about it. Normally I have them queued up. The hat thing, where hold on. Before I even say something, I don't know what I'm talking about. Yes, I was looking at this guy today or yesterday because I was just kind of looking to see if there was anything new. And yeah, he's in St. Clair County. Like, I think I want to try to do a couple of those guys before baseball starts next year. So he may be one of those. Yeah, Elvis, man, I feel like that's one of those that just a simple Google. You got all the Elvis you want to see. What you really don't see though is Elvis's first grave, the one at the cemetery, where him and his mom and his um somebody else, maybe it's just him and his mom, but yeah, not a lot of people show that. That's something I think it still has flowers in it, if I'm not mistaken. I think the mausoleum still gets flowers put in it. I think. And his mom was just buried out in the cemetery. So the conspiracy is the dad, Vernon, staged the whole thing about them trying to steal it because he wanted all of that on Presley property. Shoeless Joe's coming soon. He's coming soon. As soon as I can just drive over there because it's a good little haul, but he's coming soon. But he's the one I want to try to wait and before baseball starts, or at least right around opening day somewhere between him and Ty Cobb. Like I know it's controversial, but I want to go to Ty Cobb's grave because it's freaking Ty Cobb, man. Like say what you want about his personality, but the dude could play some baseball, right? Like sometimes you have to separate, and it sucks to do that because they might be a terrible person, but man, they could kill the baseball. So you have to, like with Shoeless Joe, like there's the whole thing with that. Like heck of a baseball player, but money, man. Oh wow! So were you there, Tammy, when everything went down? I always heard it was like Vernon paid. That's the rumor that Vernon had everybody or had those two guys, two or three dudes, try to break into it. But yeah, that way they could put it on Presley property. I don't know what the deal was, why he wanted it there, but Memphis had a law at the time where you couldn't, and so that had to happen in order for him to do it because he had already asked to do it, and Memphis said no, and then that just magically happened afterwards. So I think that's the conspiracy part of it. I think I'm fixing to get off here. It is 8:30 my time. So it is time to get the kids in bed. And it's time for me to go to bed because it's been a long day. I ain't done anything, but I'm tired. I've just been fat and been eating all day, and I got my sweet tea at 8:30 at night. That's really good for me, I'm sure. Yeah, I feel yeah, but still at random, huh? But yeah, I actually made it one Thursday. I know I said like 3 Thursdays ago that I was going to do it, so I made it. Can't believe I did it because it did. I hope everybody's had a good Thanksgiving, and I wanted to do this too, just in case, because I know the holidays are tough. It's like the most like suicide with depression, like it's a big deal. And I don't, I won't. If you want to talk to somebody, you got me on Thanksgiving. That's at least my hope, anyway. I hope everybody has a good night. I'll see you guys maybe next Thursday, maybe the next. I don't know yet. It just depends on how the week goes. But yeah, video Monday. I think it's going to be Disney. I think. I don't know. It just depends. Good night, Tammy. Hope y'all have a great rest of your afternoon. I mean, it is 8:30. There ain't a lot of time left. For some of you younger people, you got all night. But for us folks that are getting older, it's over with. Time to put that horse in the barn, right? All right. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Uh, maybe next Thursday. If all goes well, we'll do next Thursday. So I'll see you guys later.